In this very important tutorial, I am going to show you how we can connect a database created in MySQL with a Java program. Guys, for this purpose, we people are supposed to use MySQL connector /j, which happens to be the official JDBC driver for MySQL. Again, I repeat it, MySQL connector /j is the official JDBC driver for MySQL. Now, the first thing you will have to do is I'm going to show you the URL from where you can download this JDBC driver for MySQL. This happens to be, you can note it down, dev.mysql.com/download/connector/j. You can easily download this JDBC driver for MySQL from this place. Once you have downloaded it from this URL, you are supposed to execute it, right? I must show you, like I have downloaded on my machine in the folder margins installation, and this one, MySQL connector Java GPL 5.1.29. So when you will click on it, a folder will be generated. I will show you in program files. Here we go. After executing this connector file, go to program files, then you will find a folder has been generated with the name MySQL. Within MySQL you will find a subfolder MySQL connector J, and within this subfolder there is going to be a very important file MySQL connector Java 5.1.2.29 bin. Guys, it happens to be executable jar file, as you can see under the type heading. So now you will have to note down this location. Afterwards you are supposed to set the class path. Go to control panel, system and security, system, click on advanced settings, then go to the button environment variables, click on it, and you might not be finding this one, class path environment variable. So what you can do is, I've already set it, so that is why we are seeing it here. So if you don't find this variable class path, what you can do is go to new, type class path, and beneath it you are supposed to type the full path where your MySQL connector is present. I will show you like this. See this one. C colon program files MySQL connector J, then MySQL connector Java 5.1.29 bin.jar. This is the value for the variable class path. So afterwards you should close the control panel. Now we have set everything that is required to run a Java program that is using JDBC driver for MySQL. Now I am going to open NetBeans. Takes some time. Okay, yeah. Now another step that is required before writing the code is go to libraries, right click on it, then add library, and you will see a list of available libraries. From this place you can choose MySQL JDBC driver. Click on add library. Now you can see you have got this MySQL JDBC driver under libraries. Now in order to save the time, I have already typed the program. As I am assuming that you people are already well versed in NetBeans, how do we write the Java programs in NetBeans. So I'm going to explain the code that we have written here. So uh, it's very important to import this package java.sql.star, and within this class Java application 1, what I am doing is I have declared two variables, string variables rather, and the value of the first string variable is, this is for JDBC driver, com.sql.jdbc.driver, and then under db underscore url, this happens to be the name of the string variable. It contains jdbc colon mysql colon localhost students. Now this is the name of the database that we people are going to use. This is the database that we people have created in mysql, and because we are supposed to give username password, I have declared to another yet another two string variables. Name of first string variable is user. Root and password has been left blank. Now we come to the method main. We are going to use connection class and statement class. As you know, connection class is used to establish the connection, and the statement class is used to issue the SQL queries. Class.forName com.mysql.jdbc.driver. Now what this is going to do is, this is going to open the driver for MySQL, and then we are going to establish the connection. Con is equal to driver manager dot get connection db underscore url, then user comma pass db underscore url. As you have seen, this is going to contain the path for the database that you have created, and this is for username and password. Now here we are going to create an object for the statement class, and its reference would be put into stmt. Now string SQL is equal to select star from master. This is the SQL query that we want to get the results from. Then result set rs is equal to stmt dot execute query SQL. What this is going to do is, it is going to obtain all the results from this query which is contained in the string variable SQL, and the whole number of rows, that is number of records, they will be treated as a result set, and their reference would be put into the reference variable of which class, result set class. Now the next task, which happens to be very important one but easy one, is to pick up the rows one by one while rs.next. As you know, while rs.next, rs happens to be the reference variable of the result set class. rs.next, what it is going to do is, it is going to pick up the records one by one from this result set, as long as it returns the boolean value true. Now I have declared a variable int m role no, rs.get int role no. Guys, see carefully, whatever I have written within these double inverted commas, it happens to be the column name which we have mentioned in the structure of the table, and name of the table is master. Then similarly rs.getString is going to pick up the value of the column name, then column name marks, and I have used get float. Why? Because the field marks has been declared, its data type has been made as float. Similarly get int cell is for cell number. So what we have done is, we have read the values for the first record and put them into separate variables, and afterwards we are going to print their values. It's quite simple, using plus concatenation symbol. This is and off loop. It will go up and check the condition. Suppose there are many records, so condition would be true. It will again enter into the loop block, rs.getInt role no. Now you have guessed rightly that this is going to pick up the value of the role no column for the second record. Similarly, value of the column name for the second record, marks for the second record, value of the column name cell for the second record. and again the details those have been put into these variables, those will be displayed on the screen. Again it will go up the loop, check the condition, condition is true, and this time over the values will be picked up for the third record, and it will go on like this. uh, should I execute it? Yeah, here we go to run, or alternatively you can simply press F6. Yeah, the processing is taking place. As actually it was not picking up the records. Why? Because we have not set the server on. Go to XAMPP control panel, start the Apache server, start MySQL also, minimize the window, and now re-execute it. Yeah, here we go. These are the results. Roll number, name, marks for the cell number for the first record, then for the second, third, fourth. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you. We will meet next time.